Laser cutting your design onto your key fob. Okay, the first thing you need to do is draw a rectangle, exactly the right size. I think the easiest thing to do here is to change the grid lock. So double click on grid lock and you can change the grid to a 5mm grid. Click OK and draw a rectangle. And as soon as you start drawing, if you look down here, that's where that's the size of the rectangle that you're drawing. So I want it 60 by 25. There we go, 60 by 25. I want to zoom in a bit, so select it and then go to selection, zoom in, come out a bit so it's not too big. There's my design. Now one thing everybody's going to need to do is to draw a hole for the keyring to go through. So double click on circle. The radius has to be 2.5, diameter 5. Okay, I'm going to put mine there, click once, click twice. Doesn't matter what colour it is because that is a hole that you're drilling, not engraving. Now the next thing we need to do is, if you've got a complicated shape, you need to put your design on there, and you could either do it after you've made it or you could do it before. So I'm going to do it before. So this is Angelo's design there. Oh, that's not, there it is. There you go. I'm going to take a screenshot of that, of just that little area. So I'm going to use green screen, capture region, and I'm just going to get that, although you might have the file so you can get it direct. Copy to clipboard, just bung that over there, and then on here, paste here. So there's Angelo's design, to make it a bit smaller. Now so that you don't shrink it and lose the aspect ratio or the relative length and width, then it's really important that you don't do that. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to zoom out to selection, and I want this to be shrunk, but I want it to be shrunk in proportion. So hold the shift key down, grab the corner, click once, and you see it's jumping around. That's because the grid lock's on. So I'm going to take the grid lock off, and now you see it's in proportion. So I think probably about that's going to be okay. Pick it up, put it in there, and I want to get that kind of approximately. Looks like I'm going to have to move the circle. Hold the shift key down. Okay, so you fiddle around with the bat. So fiddle around till you get that the right size. So this is the design, and there's a rectangle. Now the problem is that the rectangle and the circle as well are behind. So if you choose the bitmap, go to bitmaps and enable transparency, and now we can see both. There's the circle, the hole, and there's the rectangle. And obviously his design is slightly smaller, but now I can see where it's going to fit on the design. So if I wanted to have an engraving in the middle here, I would know where to place it. So imagine I'm going to put some lettering here, so double click on the lettering, choose a font. Don't worry too much about the size at the moment. The color needs to be, for engraving, the line color needs to be red, and the fill needs to be no fill. Okay, so red and no fill. Okay, click, and then we're going to put some initials, JUP. Okay, and now we've got that. That's obviously the wrong size, so I'm going to put it like that, and I'm going to hold the shift key down, shrink it. There we go. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. And now I can get rid of the drawing behind, the bitmap behind, and then I'll just have the file. Keep the rectangle, because we'll need that for when we actually engrave it. There you go.